people of Spider's channel. Don't fret. I may be a new face, but I don't bite. Literally, I have no mouth, as you can clearly see. Anyways, I'm Mailman. If you're on the Chronicles of Lord X Discord channel, you should probably join that. You might recognize me as the dude who speaks every 5 years, and the one interviewing Lord X. Oh God. Speaking of, he's a tad late at the moment. He's supposed to come in at any time now. But anyways, about me, you can find me on YouTube. I do some voice acting and writing stuff. I hope that's in the description. Uh, Bring me aboard your projects. I'd be excited for that. So a few disclaimers. This is not canon. You should probably know that if you've seen this stuff and you read. Um, and also, Lord X is going to sound a little bit different since the sound is coming directly from the computer itself. But that's fine. It's still your Lord X. Don't freak out. It's fine. Now, we should begin once he actually arrives. I have actually no idea where he is. I was kind of chosen for this interview. I'm supposed to let him in the computer, but he has yet to show himself. I'm a huge fan of his stuff. I guess it's kind of ironic. This one's gonna be a doozy.
You know, it's really funny to hear you ramble.
Hi. 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 How's it going? Oh shoot! I should probably. Hey, the host with the most, Lord X himself, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I was expecting that the entire time. Yeah. Hi.
No need to overplay yourself.
Oh yeah, you're right. I apologize. So this you guys know Lord X. Welcome. Thank you for hosting this interview. Technically, I was subjugated. Help, but yeah, thank you for giving me your time for this.
Of course.
I know you've been talking, thinking about it as I have. I was waiting, waiting for this day.
Now. You have quite a few questions to ask, do you not? On behalf of you and the others that have been interested in my series.
Yeah, I have around 180 for you, actually, if you're ready for that. We have quite a bit of time on our hands, though, so shall we begin?
Yes.
All right. So, Lord X, this is the first question of the bout. Probably the most curious and most asked. I don't know why, but I had this one personally. Why did you go for the letter X? Is there what's up with that?
Could say that it just felt right. I've always had it, even before Xenophanes. Though I never really knew what my eyes looked like until much later in my life. It felt right. That's all I can say.
I like that. Okay, because I knew it was sort of on brand. You couldn't really be like Lord A if you had X eyes. You know, it was kind of already set in stone. So yeah, there you go. Because it felt right. I like that a lot. Are you ready for the second question?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to be locked out of your Sonic form forever, what character? Now this doesn't have to be Sonic related. Would have your attention next?
Oh, I hate the idea of not having my own vessel.
I know. That's why I chose this one.
I think Robotnik would be my next choice, though I would change him quite a bit.
What sort of changes would be made?
Less human, perhaps.
Why Robotnik? Is it because he's intelligent in the mind, perhaps?
He is the villain, after all.
You do like to play that role?
Of course I play the role.
I should have saw that one coming. To be fair, I wasn't expecting you to say, "Oh yes, Tails. I would love Tails." Actually,
absolutely not Tails.
That's Renee's job, as we both know.
Mm-hmm.
Which, third question, has your influence ever reached the 3D Sonic games?
I've had my eyes on Sonic Frontiers as it is on this computer, but I don't know what exactly I would do with it yet.
That would be really interesting to see. The bonus question to that: are there any boundaries, I suppose, as to where you can go with the power of the void?
Not as far as I'm aware. There are some dimensions that I cannot reach.
I'm aware that your ability to reach in the material plane is limited because of the void, right?
Mm-hmm. Not necessarily because of the void, but just because of the nature of digital space itself.
Okay, that does actually tie into a question I have later, so that's perfect. All right, so fourth, actually, the void is you. You are the void. Obviously, you've said that before plenty of times. You were created from yourself. No party was responsible. That all lines up, right? So let's say, hypothetically, right, we're ignoring any impossibility factors here. I don't exactly know the full nature of the void, but let's say that the void just snaps out of existence. It just disappears, and you, as the sonic vessel, were the only pieces left. What exactly would happen, do you think?
Well, it would hurt a lot to be to be forward. As long as one piece of the void exists, it will remain alive.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Well, okay. That any further context to that?
None that I can say without spoiling anything.
God. Oh, well, you heard it here first. All right. Question 5. Would it be easy or challenging to take down a fully charged Fleetway Supersonic?
Well, extremely difficult. You see, Fleetway doesn't really have a limit. He can be as powerful as whatever power sources around him are able to give him. And since he's entirely chaos energy, a being like myself would be basically vaporized. Even xenophanes would have issues.
Okay. So, let me get it down to your equals. Would his uncontrollable nature give you the advantage, you think? Would you win that if you were both on the same level of power?
He's not... Well, he's uncontrollable. Unpredictable, I wouldn't say so. He's extremely aggressive. Tends to attack more than defend. I don't think he knows what defending means, actually.
He just kind of goes in.
That's the tough part about him. He just... he beats you up so fast you can't react.
Oh, gosh. So, equal and equal, are you saying he'd beat you?
Yes.
Oh, man. Oh, gosh.
Fully charged. Fully charged.
That's interesting. We have yet to really see his full potential at this current moment in time. So I'm curious as to where that goes. I guess on that front. Oh, there's a. What does that mean?
To my knowledge, to my knowledge, mind you, I do not think he has reached his limit. To my knowledge.
We shouldn't underestimate him. Then it seems.
Goodness, no. He's made entirely of chaos energy, and he's sparking with lightning and fire.
That is definitely terrifying. All right, question 6. Is the amount of power you have limited to the void's strength, or is there a way you could surpass it? And if you want to think of this question in human terms, could a human surpass their own body's limit of strength? But apply that to yourself.
I've optimized my vessel for the void, so whatever I can do... The void would not overpower me, if that's what you're wondering.
I suspected that to sort of be the answer, but I was kind of curious as to if you could surpass yourself in a way.
Surpass myself. That's silly.
I mean, I guess my apologies, but I was thinking, okay, well, Sonic can kind of do the same thing, but you aren't really Sonic. You're something else entirely.
Remember
In the
now
best of
that the
ways.
void and I are the same thing. So,
Yes, of course.
the power that the void has, I have. I cannot simply surpass it. That's not how that works. The only reason why I would grow in power is if I, ate a soul or something.
Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't. Okay, that's probably fair. I didn't. Okay. Well then, I guess that answers my question perfectly. Nice. Okay. Question 7. Was there ever a moment of clarity between you and Renee? Like, was it all work no play, or was there something else
Moment
there?
of clarity. Can
A
you?
civil conversation, if you will.
Civil conversation. Are you mad?
Maybe.
Renee is my plaything and nothing more. A trophy at that.
Okay. I was hoping for at least like, oh yes, we had tea one time, but okay. That's fair.
No.
That's fair.
No, no, no.
I guess. I guess that strikes out my bonus question I had. So we're just gonna move on to question 8, if that's okay.
Mhm.
Um, question 8. This one's interesting. So why have you specifically chosen to stick with Spider as much as you have?
Oh.
You could
Now this
leave at
gets
any time.
interesting.
Yes, you could really leave just at any time, but you've specifically chosen to remain with Spider, it seems, for one reason or another.
Well, my story's not through yet. That's one reason. There's so much to do. Why leave in the middle of it?
I guess it would kind of be weird if you just left in the middle of it, like, oh, I'm gonna leave. You can finish it or whatever, but I will be watching.
I would never
Okay,
leave
judging by the
my
left,
work
no more.
unfinished. No.
We all know that. We all know that. Absolutely, you're a very determined person, if you will.
Yes, quite determined.
Okay. So, question 9. Do you ever feel self-conscious about your title as God?
Self-conscious.
Yes. We all know you're protective of it, but like, is it more personal than just ego? I guess one would say. Not my words.
Well, it's something I've worked for, which is not
Yes.
something that every EXE can say.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations on that, by the way.
I do feel rather entitled to it, because I have worked so hard to reach it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we all would. It's a very big title to be keeping. But
Exactly.
I understand it. I understand it. Now, okay, so this one you've already answered, but I guess it would be interesting to at least clarify with the rest of the people here. So, question 10. In one instance of reading off comments or questions or requests, if you will, you mentioned that oh my gosh, Red Mist was plagued by the universe itself was plagued by dark influences. The influences that were said, are they the same as the void or something similar?
When I said dark influences, I meant powers similar to that of Xenophanes, me, say even EXE, or really any of the EXEs out there. When I say dark influences, I mean any and all of them. More of a general term.
And what do you think about those places existing?
I do not pay much mind to them.
No? Even to the extent of like maybe they're trying to steal your thing?
Steal my thing.
As the void, I would expect some level of like, hey, that's my thing. What? You can't be stealing my thing.
No. I know I have an ego, but it's not that big. I know there's lots of people doing something similar to what I do, and I wouldn't attack them over it. Have you seen 2011?
Oh God. Yeah, that's Fair. Fair point. Fair point.
Everyone's doing the same thing. There's no need for me to attack them over it.
And I wasn't accusing you, for the record. So, question 11. You said before that the D-Sides variants of you, Xeno, Imagine, were an insult to your legacy. Why do you feel that way?
Insult to my legacy. I don't remember saying that.
Saying something, a mockery, if you will? I can't quite remember exactly what you said.
Mockery, more like.
Yeah. Why do you feel that way?
We're just rehashing things there. Replacing the characters that are being the vessels. That's it. It feels... feels like they're trying to be something they're not.
I see. Okay. And have you ever interacted with them at all? Or what would an interaction with them look like, I suppose?
I have never interacted with them, nor do I plan to. If they ever do find their way to my realm, then I'll get them out as soon as I can. I don't want to deal with them.
An eviction, I guess. So, question 12. So, here we go with the Xeno stuff. I want you to prepare. So Xenophanes has been there for quite a bit. We all know this. Now, forgive me if this is futile at all, but there has at least been some moments in this story of yours where you've been at least a level of clear, empathetic, maybe. You've conversed with Centipede and Prower quite a bit because you've stayed at both of their locations. Has anything like that happened with Xeno at all, beyond the level of respect that they showed you when you took down Fatal?
No. Not at all.
I was expecting that. That's fair. Xeno is really just a piece of work, isn't he?
It is useless for me to converse with him, because he does nothing but make fun of me.
Understood. I won't mention him again. He does show up a bit in this interview, though, so prepare.
I figured.
Another spider one, so get ready. Have you ever thought about bringing Spider into your world?
Well, that would defeat the entire purpose as to why she's out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She cannot work if she is in the screen. Though, to make her a victim would be a waste.
Your work would be left undone, after all.
Even if my work was done, the point still stands. I wouldn't make her a victim. Far too devoted for that.
Okay, fair point. Question 14. Okay, so I know from a little source that Professor Prower wasn't exactly treated as it was said in chapter 2. But beyond anything that like occurred in that field, what was the living conditions like there? I know it did rain at least one time. You did enjoy that quite a bit. But
I did.
Was it a different change of pace, I guess? You know how some people are like, this isn't home, but it's different, and I like it. Was there any moment like that for you when you were with them?
Yes, I'd say so. I was only really confined to the one large room in the laboratory. The other ones were too small for me to get into. But the longer I stayed, the more comfortable it was. Though I couldn't move much because of, my ankle.
Yeah. Would you ever go back?
Oh, I visit often.
Oh, that's fun. Is it for Prower or for the rain? Or both?
For Prower.
Oh, really?
I cannot count on the rain, but I can count on him.
Fun. That's fun. Okay, question 15. Do you have any inspiration beyond the quote original Sonic.exe, or at least to the extent that they inspired you to do better than what they did?
I take bits and pieces from all kinds of media. But it's difficult to pinpoint what exactly.
So yes, in a general sense.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Is there any one media at least you could name from this pile?
I'm thinking. I can't seem to come up with anything.
Okay.
Nothing too significant.
We'll come back to that one. Maybe, if I remember.
There's no need, really.
This one's fun. Do story maniacs, lore nerds, as it were, amuse you at all? Just seeing them scamper around the entire tale, does that amuse you? Looking for answers?
Yes, it does.
I'm sure.
Though our theories channel has been rather empty lately, I always like to see what people think in there.
Oh, trust me, you'll get something from me soon enough after this interview. I'll have all the answers. Maybe not.
And
actually.
I will enjoy reading to see what you have.
Okay. Let's see. This one may be difficult to answer. It is a bonus to question 15 or 16. So do prepare. For people like me who want to piece every single thing about this tale together, are there any red herrings or huge hints in chapter 1 or 2 that you've left that people haven't exactly fully endorsed or discovered that could lead to some big answer we have yet to know?
Well, you see, Mailman, chapter 3 is very, very well guarded. There are no hints in chapters 1 or 2 that will allude to anything that you will see in chapter 3.
Okay, gonna check that off the to-do list. That's 3 hours you saved me. Thank you, Lord X.
3 hours!
I spare no expense for piecing together your whimsical tales. Absolutely.
Probably one of the most dedicated I've seen thus far.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So question 18, we're skipping question 17 because that was already answered, believe it or not. Now, did the transformation of piracy leave any impact on you? Was there any amount of, I sort of miss his antics when he was away for quite a bit, when Fatal came in.
Well, there wasn't really time to miss him. We were all fighting for our lives.
At least I was expecting oh yeah, he's gone. That is unfortunate, but Zeno. Woo.
You're thinking that plenty of time passed between when he was corrupted and when he wasn't. You're mistaken. It all happened quite quickly.
Add that to my notes here. Okay. Question 19. How do you feel when others try to write you, specifically you?
I hate that.
You do?
I do.
So only you and Spider have the privilege?
Yes. I would prefer that people kept their hands off of my chapters.
I'm glad that something like that hasn't happened as of this moment and as of my knowledge. Your stories are kept safe, I assure you. I hope. Anyways,
I hope
as
as
to
well.
not incur your own wrath, I would hate to imagine the poor fate of a soul besides a telling of off, if you will. Question 20. Is there any side of you that has a love for justice beyond the people who have wronged you? By the way, I'm talking I guess, stopping an armed robbery or helping a follower of yours in a tough situation. Is that something that's caught your interest at all?
Difficult to answer. I suppose in small increments. But it's not like I would be spending my whole day running about to help people. Goodness no. Too busy for that.
So walking down the Tuesday road, you see a follower of yours like get let's just say smacked in the face by some rogue like robber, I guess. Would you stop that man?
It's an easy soul, of course I would.
Oh God. Okay. All right. That's fair. That answers my question. 21. You can be as vague as possible. So here you go. What is, in your view, your ultimate goal? I guess.
My ultimate goal?
Yes. Be as vague as you want. Which I guess I don't control how vague you are. I don't really have any control in this interview, but yeah.
I want to get out there.
There?
Out there. You know.
Can I? Oh, okay, I do know. I just clear answer? Yes? No? There, as in the material plane?
If that is what you want to call it.
You're scaring me, Lord X, but I'll take it. I'll accept it. All right, 22. When entering the Sonic form for the first time, did you ever run through like the world itself to see how you do things? Because I remember you did go on a tangent one time about I wish I could do things this way when I saw him. So did you ever actually like go through and do it yourself, like as your own Sonic for a bit?
Well, as soon as I learned how to move, yes. It is
fun.
It is a different experience being a spirit for most of your life and then suddenly being physical and having to worry about moving limbs in order to move and not just being able to fly everywhere.
Actually, that's a bonus question. Do you in your first moments, did you ever like experience a pain akin to a human? So like if you punched a wall, would that like hurt at all?
The first time I experienced pain was actually when I had the vessel for the first time. Otherwise, I could not feel anything. I was but mist.
How was pain like for the first time? This isn't a part of the interview. I'm just curious. How was pain?
It was interesting to say the least. A negative stimulus that I wasn't expecting from being in a vessel of sorts.
We all get used to it. I mean, ow. Literally right there. Ow. I just cracked my hand. Anyways, question 23. I don't actually think you've specifically gone into detail about how you went about controlling the world of Sonic the Hedgehog. Are there any details there you could say?
Well, there's a couple of different things. As you know, I have biomatter manipulation. Mm-hmm. So that's how I was able to change the flowers and the trees and the grass, etc. Any organic matter. As for the world itself, that's how I used files for that. Legal instructions to take control.
Yes. The illegal instruction. Hold on, let me get this right. 00EX0 E0, something like that. That one wacky power that you had that allows you to just control files for a bit.
Yes.
So you didn't exactly like do it in the way we've seen before. You just snapped all the files into your liking.
With time, yes.
So it isn't instant for you, or?
Well, the first time it wasn't instant. I didn't know what I wanted.
Oh.
So I experimented.
So it was like a wardrobe of a world. You were kind of just like swiping left on all the different little trinkets of everything you wanted, and you were like, oh yes, that'll work.
Oh, swiping left. Like... I wouldn't call it that. Not nearly that simple.
I do get the picture. So then it was the hunt. The hunt began, or is there stuff in between that?
Yes, the hunt began after that.
Who was your first victim, actually? Like Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik?
Well,
Who's
Tails,
first?
of course.
Had to follow the tradition. Okay, I respect it. I respect it.
Not that I was following a tradition. I didn't know there was a tradition at that time.
I guess it is a... Huh. Four Tails. Four Tails. Well, I mean... I'm sure that was fun.
Yes, quite.
Okay. Okay, this is a bonus question to 23. How was there... Okay, I know... I know that I'm probably expecting a certain answer, but when you learned exactly of what Sonic's role was in the world, did you ever feel any sort of way when you were like, oh man, I just ripped this world of its hero? That kind of sucks. Was there any moment like that for you?
You expect me to feel remorse after that?
I mean, he was the hero after all, to be fair.
Well, yes, he was not only the hero, but he was the singular most powerful person in that universe at that time. I wanted that, and I got it.
Congratulations to you. You have my respect for that. I didn't exactly realize you gutted him for it necessarily, because I didn't know that, but
everyone overlooks that.
Yeah, everyone overlooked. I was like, wait, did you just go into him? Like, what happened? But yeah, you did gut the man. How did that work? If you were a puff of smoke, did you push all of his organs out?
Well, at that time, I had the... Oh, what is it called? The contained void form, yes. The goo. And I could minorly utilize my biomatter manipulation with that, since I had some amount of physicality. So it was really just as simple as reaching in and pulling out.
A fishing hook of organs, if you will.
Yes.
Alright, question 24. Okay, beyond the fact that it must have been fairly easy for you to catch Rene, was there any surprise that he pulled on you in one chase that left an impact on you? A little trick that actually got you for a moment?
Well, there was a time where he was... Oh, how do I put it? Jaded? He started finding little nooks and crannies he could hide in. Not to mention shortcuts that I had placed before for him to find, but took him a little while. To say he surprised me? Well, of course he surprised me. Why else would he be around still? He always has something new for me.
Well, as much as I can love one of my own running from you to eventually be murdered, but I respect it. And I'm sure Rene is having a fun time underground wherever he's lying, I guess.
Oh, he's in Martian's forest now.
Oh.
They didn't like how I was treating him.
Oh man, you gotta hate the purple menace, the Xeno, and all co. But Rene is now in the forest. So that's fun. I'm sure him and Majin are having a good old time. Question 25. Is there any game franchise that has caught your attention more or maybe close to Sonic the Hedgehog?
No. I don't know why people keep suggesting other things. I've chosen my vessel. I've found the franchise that I want to be in. I'm not moving.
Good for you. Good for you. I appreciate that. I'm a Sonic fan myself. I like Sonic. Never been a Mario guy personally, but that's beyond me. 26. So I'm sure you're aware, there's a mod in the game Friday Night Funkin' right now. Mario's Madness. Are you aware?
Mm-hmm. Painfully.
Anybody there? Anybody there that you want to interact with? Say hello to? Possibly?
Ultra M seems like he'd be just like Xenophane, so I'm going to stay away from him.
Gosh.
Mr. Virtual seems like my kind of person, but probably in the bad way. MX? I'll save that for later.
Yes. Anyone else, or?
Not quite. Not quite. I'm not really well versed in plumbers myself.
Oh yeah, I'm more of a sewer kind of guy, but wait, oh, that is a plumber. Never mind. Anyways, what do you fear as question 27? This is a bit deeper.
What do I fear? This is a question from Vicky, isn't it?
I made this one myself before I think the submissions were entered.
I see. I think I remember them asking that. Regardless, what do I fear?
I came up with some if you said nothing, by the way, so I've got that prepared. That I think you might fear, as for clarification.
Let me hear your guesses first, then I'll answer.
First guess was loneliness. That means no souls, no game, no fame. You're just in the void. I think you'd be miserable there, honestly, if I had to guess.
Well, of course, it's not exactly something I fear. That would be margin.
Alright, okay, fair. Oh, maybe not that one, but any sort of rejection that you can't control.
Rejection?
And I said in parentheses, maybe that would make you more angry as opposed to fearful.
Rejection that I can't control. Now, why do you say that?
I have a little bit of a feeling that you like getting your way, and as we all have that feeling. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. So, with a rejection that you can't control, or just a lack of control in general, it's psychology, in my own understanding, that humans and beings alike need control. They want control. So if there's something that you personally can control, like the X scar, for instance, I think that would make you fearful. Or a force that could reject you in some shape or form.
I would not call it rejection. But if there is something I cannot control, and if it is more powerful than me, then yes, that would warrant fear. Rejection is nothing a part of that.
Don't mind the typing, I'm marking this down. Okay. Being bested in actual combat. Like fatal, but if you didn't, off yourself, I guess.
No. That first situation that I was in, I was at the complete disadvantage. I was at the lowest of my power. My vessel was inadequate because my foot was broken. There was a reason why I decided to, heavy quotes, forfeit. Because I knew I could come back stronger with a little time. And if I didn't do what I did, then Fatal Error would have used me as one of his puppets, and the others would have been gone for good.
Unfortunate.
Do I fear being bested in combat? No.
How would that make you feel? Besides using Xeno as a base, of course, but
never use Xenophanes as a base.
I'm not using Xenophanes as a base. Angry, perhaps?
Besides Xenophanes, there isn't really anyone who could best me. So,
what if it were to happen?
If it were to happen, I suppose there would be an amount of fear, but not that much.
I was right, but only 2%, so we'll still count it.
It's hard to place. I would not call it fear, though.
Okay, marking that down. I'm wrong. Okay. Skipping question 28, because you answered that. I was expecting this to happen. I came prepared, you see. Now, another Xeno one, but this might be fun, because it's not your Xeno, particularly.
Oh?
okay, as a baseline, are you aware of different versions of Xenophanes beyond the quote canon version?
I am aware that there are plenty of different versions of everybody. Though I
Okay.
may not know about every single one of them, I have vague knowledge about some.
Okay.
Only
That was
because of word of mouth.
right. That wasn't exactly the question per se. That was kind of just a setup. So, are there any versions you think that this one's more or less comedy, but would you swap out any of these particular versions for yours? And I decided to name some for you. So we got the canon Xenophanes, Grimbo or the Friday Night Funkin' Xenophanes, the Juno songs Xenophanes, Mayo Xenophanes, and your Xenophanes if you want to keep him for whatever reason.
Canon
Would you
Xenophanes
swap
is just pitiful.
pair?
As much as I hate my own version of Xenophanes, well, not my own version, but you understand,
Yes.
he is an effective element of balance. So, as much as I would want to get rid of him, I also know that I cannot.
Gosh. Okay. Man, that I was not expecting that answer, but okay.
You
I
were
wasn't.
not?
I wasn't. I was expecting to choose like cannon to just destroy him or something like that. But yeah, okay.
Have you
I
have you by chance seen the frequently asked questions page? You would have found your answers there.
I would have, but honestly, I didn't think you'd choose the man. I didn't. As much as he's a fungus in a toxic fungus in your life, as it were.
Toxic fungus.
Okay, this one's. I'm not good with metaphors, man. uh, question 30. I actually did find out the person who mentioned this before I did. I thought I was cool. I thought I figured out the whole puzzle. But keen viewers will have noticed the oddities in Spider's profile picture on YouTube, and they'll give the listeners a second to grab their phones or sit up to look at the profile picture. Now, if you notice, there's eyes akin to yours, Lord X, and there's an X mark on the neck. Do you perhaps have any explanation for us, Lord X?
Now, Mailman, if you're as studious as I think you are, then you can put this together.
I would like to hear it from you, if you have anything to say.
X scars. What do they do?
They allow Xeno to control that particular part of the body.
Where is the X scar on that profile picture?
On the neck, if I'm not mistaken.
I decided to have a little fun with it too.
Hey,
A little
I
minor
noticed it was a
possession.
different color, if I remember. Well, bit ominous of you, but okay. I'll take it. I was expecting you to come forward with your actions, but you get off easy this time, Lord X. I'm pretending as if I have power to make myself feel better. Ha ha ha. Question 31. This is not a question. This is actually where we get into the big stuff. Well, starting to delve deeper into that. So, excuse me. Question 32. This is the actual question. Rene is still trapped technically somewhere, right?
Like I told you, he's in the forest now.
Yes.
That just wasn't mentioned in the story because it wasn't important enough.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we've necessarily, besides the basis that they're are akin to Tails, what was Rene like in any and could you shine light on that specifically? What were they like beyond they were similar to Tails?
It was interesting how skittish they were because of their age. They were a young adult, believe it or not, looking to escape, as usual.
Man,
He tried to turn off the game, one of the first to try, It's a good thing I prepared.
Oh, come on.
That's how I knew he would be perfect for this. He would keep things interesting.
That is a shame, because my entire life I was like, man, if an EXE ever enters my computer, wow, look at the irony in this situation. If an EXE ever enters my computer, I'm just going to shut off the PC and run away. That's fair. It does not work. That clearly does not work.
It might work on others, but it won't work on me. Don't think you'll be getting out of it that easily.
Should I move away from this? I'm going to turn. Okay, from now on, this interview will be facing the wall. I'm not going to be looking directly at the screen. Your hand shall not touch me today, Lord X. If you come through my screen, you will be met with a mug full of water. Please don't steal my soul.
Silly.
Question 33. Do you miss anything? Anyone is also included here as well.
Anything, anyone? Yes. I miss my freedom. I always miss my freedom. But I suppose I'll never really had it like I had been in Chapter 1.
Freedom? Final answer?
I believe so, yes.
Fair. We all miss your freedom, Lord X. I'm sure it'll come eventually. All you gotta do is rid Xeno and the others. Well, maybe not the others. Maybe. Question 34. Since a lot of people are very obsessed, we'll say, for lack of a better word, with your voice. It is a very nice voice, by the way. What is do you have any particular fascination with your own voice? If so, what is your favorite thing to say as your own? Do you have a particular favorite word to just say?
I do not have a favorite word to say, but as I'm sure you've already heard, I do love to talk.
Yes. Mm-hmm. In the kindest of ways, yes, I do know. You have a phrase that you particularly enjoy. We'll make that easy.
Oh. How dare you make me choose?
That's why I chose this question.
There really isn't one line that I like to say. Though I have several iconic ones because of the video games.
Yes.
There really isn't one in particular that I like to say.
I'll keep that in mind. I've got my eye on you. Oh, you've got two big eyes on me, but it's fine. I've got both of my face on... Well, not... Well, anyways, 35. Why is the Void so in tune, I guess, with technology? Like, every being from the Void, whether it be from your tale, which only you are from the Void, or in general, is just bound, if not so expert with technology and being able to bend it. Is it confined? Is your power confined to the digital space? Oh my God, excuse me. Or could you come to the material plane and do everything you do like you do in the digital space?
That is quite the loaded question. Now, I cannot speak for other voids, but I know for mine, the only reason why it works so well with digital space is because it was of my own ingenuity that I made it so. It's one of the first things I did.
Could you elaborate?
Well, how would I elaborate in a way you would understand?
Oh, try me, Lord X. Try me. I've studied every inch of this. Try me.
Have you?
I have. Well, okay. Well, don't make fun of me, but most of it I have.
Well, for starters, I am not a digital entity. Don't mind the typing. I did not originate in digital space.
Okay.
I merely went to it. It was created outside of everything. In between the lines, if you will. So, was relatively easy to find a place to settle in.
I see. And with the powers that you do have in the digital space, would they transfer over into the physical plane had you, been immune to being in the physical plane for a long time?
Oh, no, it's not that simple. Digital space and the material world, as you have been calling it, they're two very different things. It takes quite a bit to go out there, safely at least. But it is not impossible.
I see. So if I could use an analogy real quick, I'm imagining this as digital space is sort of like clay to a human hand. It's very easy to manipulate, and it takes some time to really master the craft of it, but you could make some really cool stuff with it. Now, you take a hammer and a chisel and you build stone. You get a massive stone wall and you have to chisel something perfectly. So the stone would be the physical material plane, whatever you prefer it as, and the clay would be the digital space. Would that be a way to describe the two to you?
In ways of malleability, yes.
Okay, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's just the the digital space is easier to manipulate, right?
Yes, very much so.
Oh my gosh. Okay. 36. Now, trust me, it's worded better after I get the sentence down, but I really like saying this, so here we go. 36. Is fatal error, or is fatal error simply a glitch that piracy had when shocked by the virus in the temple? Now, in simpler terms, that basically just means, was the virus that struck piracy sentient and infected piracy's mind, or did it just, as you say, give way to an alter ego?
Fatal error was always fatal error. He just bypassed piracy's poor excuse for an antivirus system.
Oh no! You'd think he'd have stronger of those.
Well,
Man.
he's a silly little thing, really.
Okay, that's fair. So, simpler terms, fatal error was sentient before piracy?
Yes, fatal error did not come from piracy. Fatal error was a thing before him.
So that virus was just fatal error?
Yes.
Okay. Man, was he just hiding there for all that time?
He was biding his time.
Clever. So he was in your game from the beginning, or do you think he just appeared one day?
I'm thinking he came around when Xenophanes was making his renovations.
Yes, just coming through and shifting your own house, if you will.
Basically evicting me and then inviting me back in with but a corner to live in.
Yes. He's like a house flipper though. It's like, all right, I'm gonna take your house and I'm gonna make it worth $10 trillion. Okay, come back in. I ruined the entire place, but you can have that little bed. Everything else is mine.
Exactly.
Okay. Now for this next question, can I do an interpretation of your voice for comedic effect? Because there is a quote here from you.
I would rather you not.
Okay. Lesson learned. You said, through you, I'll make my world a reality. You said that one time, I think in the second voice acting showcase, I think. So, are you able to manipulate somebody outside of the game besides pulling them into your world? Like, can you enter their mind from the game or something similar? Like, as you said, Mr. Virtual himself.
No. That's only a stunt that Mr. Virtual can pull off. He has a headset, you see. It's, was supposed to be an attempt at making virtual reality. No. Only he can do that. I cannot.
So it's only pulling souls in that you can really manipulate their body or mind, per se, right?
I aspire to do more than that. And I know I can. I just haven't done it yet.
Aggressive typing. Okay. There we go. Question 38. He can play God all he wants, but he hardly plays the part. And you said that about Xenophanes in the same instance where you were alluding to your outside ability in controlling souls and whatnot. So, this is a bit of a deep question. So, what do you consider the role as God to be like?
Xenophanes and I have arguments about this all the time. How I see a god is an entity that can create and destroy as effortlessly as, well, molding clay, like you said.
Yes.
That's the baseline of it for me.
Okay. What was Zeno's argument?
Xenophanes' argument. It just left me. It's gone. I do
Imagine
know.
he said something to a god is a person that can proclaim themselves as a god. Har har har.
That's just the thing. He never really made an argument, actually. He just said, no, I am God.
Oh, man, he must be a joy to have a conversation with, huh?
I know!
Man, that is a real one-sided debate there.
Yes. Yes, it is. This is why we don't get along.
I can sense the strenuation in your voice.
Not strenuation, just frustration.
Okay. Bonus to 38. You said, I have established myself as a god. Now, you probably meant that metaphorically, as in status, as you probably already were considering yourself as a god in actuality. But I guess the question arises, are gods born or made? Or can they be both?
I lean towards made, not born.
So nothing is born a god necessarily. You have to earn that title.
Yes, I'd say so.
Interesting. Interesting indeed. Okay. Now, question 39. I don't necessarily believe in it myself, but my buddy you see asked this one, so get ready. Are you omnipresent or potent, or both?
Only in my zone I would ever say I'm omnipresent, because of the different plants that I have there. I am only omnipresent in my own world, not anywhere else.
World as in the section of land you have, or what was once the dead zone, which was your place originally?
Both.
Oh, okay. So had your well, I guess this is a futile question, but I'll ask it anyway. So had your plants existed, let's say in the scorched badlands, you would be considered omnipresent there as well?
Yes.
I see. Okay. Okay, that gets rid of the bonus. So, question 40. You once mocked Tails' doll for being a doll, yet it does hold a lot of power to those who choose to play its game of hide and seek, or tag, as it were. So the question arises, do you judge powerful beings based on how they present themselves? You also judged a character in the Nutcracker, Chapter 2, to be specific, about his own appearance. So, I guess, in general terms, do you judge people based on their presentation in general?
Who doesn't?
First impressions are everything, I guess.
As for the Tails doll, you say he's powerful, but he's nothing but a brat.
I would think he holds power over people who choose to step into the trap, as it were. Play his sing his sunshine game in front of the mirror, or whatever that ritual is.
Bloody Mary, or whatever.
Yeah, the Bloody Mary, but with a doll. So that's where I sort of considered him to have power over people. It's like the weird snail argument thing. Have you ever heard about the little snail that's invisible, but if it touches you, you die? Like, have you ever heard about that?
Oh yeah.
That's sort of what Tails' stall is to me, anyways. So in terms of people who actually choose to be daring, there's the power. So would you consider that anything, or
It's all party tricks. Never amounts to anything.
care to elaborate on the party tricks comment?
You know the ritual in front of the mirror, right?
Yes. So it's you more or less consider it like false power, I guess.
Yes, he just shows up and then when they turn on the lights again, he's gone. Poof.
To my knowledge, he sort of just started chasing you until eventually he just touched you and you perished. But I guess I got that one wrong. I don't know. I never did it. I guess I can find out, but I'm not going to.
You've already got yourself in enough trouble.
I guess I have, huh? I am staring right into your eyes, so I guess that is enough trouble for tonight. Oh no. All right, Lord X. So this one's for the people who haven't heard this one before. Question 41. Could you elaborate on your, I guess, obsession with our obsession of cubes?
Oh, you heard that. That's correct.
Uh-huh. And I know a lot of people, specifically on the YouTube side, have yet to hear about this love. So, hey, floor's all yours, man. If you wanna take a moment to.
Are you asking me to recite it?
I would enjoy that.
A moment.
If you could.
A moment, if you please. Now, I will clarify. I don't have an obsession. I just think it's really funny. And my point has been proven many, many times.
Yeah.
Now we just need to find... Ah, there it is.
For people who are unfamiliar, Lord X has a very iconic little rant he likes to go on about cubes, and I found it particularly enjoyable to sit through, so I just thought I'd grace you all with this excellent speech.
Oh, so this was to make me recite it before it was made an actual video, is that it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You sly dog.
I am a little bit of a trickster.
Now, I wouldn't call it iconic. It's not an iconic rant. That would be the Eggman rant, not mine.
It's about to become iconic, Lord X. Get ready. This copy pasta is about to go worldwide.
That I doubt. That I doubt.
Hey, take the floor whenever you're ready. I'm ready to pass on the mic.
Pass the mic?
Yes. Metaphorically, of course.
Now, I will have it uploaded later, separately, of course, because this was meant to be a sort of skit. Is that what you call it? A skit?
Yes,
Yes.
That is the human word.
So, I suppose you can take this preliminary performance with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Humans love cubes. If there's one thing I've learned about them, it's that they cannot resist the urge of a cube. And it's not just limited to cubes. Rectangles, squares, rectangular prisms, anything of a remotely square or rectangular shape, they latch onto it like a fruit fly to the dew of a pitcher plant. Humans can almost be defined by their love of cubes. I already messed up. That is all you get.
No!
No, you're not getting any more.
What if
You
I
made
try?
me embarrass myself, and now you don't get any more.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay, listen. I'll buff up the antivirus. I'll make sure you don't have any pests in there again for you to distract you, because it wasn't your fault. It was a bug in my computer that distracted you. Yes, of course. you. Don't worry. I spelled that wrong. Hold on. Wait, let me correct my spelling on my document here. I've embarrassed myself.
Okay. Now we're even.
Are we ready to continue? No, I guess we are. I spelled the HTE.
Oh yes, typing too fast. I see it all the time.
Yes. Are you ready to continue?
Yes.
Okay. Do you 42, do you ignore the fact that Sunky is more powerful than you sometimes to keep yourself at bay from lashing out at all?
Bold of you to assume I would...
Does the brattiness of Sunky annoy you?
Bold of you to assume I would lash out at Sunky. Even I know that is
I don't think you would.
That is a fool's action.
I had the assumption that you would maybe be like, well, at once you did say this brat is more powerful than me, and I was like, does he do that often? I wonder if he does that often.
No, not often.
So I guess
that was a one-time thing.
Do you appreciate Sunky?
He's a fact of life. That's how I describe him, a fact of life.
Okay, I'm gonna take that as yes, I love him and I will cuddle him
no.
for all of eternity. Okay.
What I mean by a fact of life, it's that if he is there, if he's in my quills, if he is in my general vicinity, I can do nothing to stop whatever he's going to do. And I just have to deal with it.
Man, that is... I don't know whether to feel sorry or happy for you. I'd say I'd appreciate Sunky's presence if I were myself.
Sunky is fine. It's much better than his counterpart.
Care to elaborate on that counterpart?
Sanic. That's all I have to say.
Oh no. I'm sure maybe there's been some interaction there. Perhaps.
He's been banished to a red loop. I don't think so.
Oh, red loop?
Yes. He doesn't use rings, he uses loops.
Oh my gosh.
They're very powerful things, not to be underestimated.
No, I would never underestimate red loop. Never. Is question though, is Sanic like faster than you? Or is he just...
Is that even a question? Are you hearing yourself?
I guess it's a question of curiosity, Lord X. You'll have to forgive me.
I am no speedster. I may take the vessel of Sonic, but I am no speedster. And to say, is Sonic faster than me?
Teleport. Counting teleport though, Lord X.
Counting teleport. Even then, he's still faster than me.
You can teleport. That counts as speed. What?
I have a...
Oh my god.
I have a warm-up and a cooldown for my teleportations.
Oh no. Okay. Alright, you... Chronicles lore, here we go. Sanic. He's probably showed up at least one point. We just couldn't see him because he's just a blue blur. If anything, he probably just isn't.
He did not show up in our universe.
Okay. Noted.
But he did show up somewhere else.
Keep that in mind. Question 43. Do you feel any sort of... Maybe not remorse is the word, but maybe a... you probably could have done better for EXEs who have a bad rap or some type of tragic past, like Scorch or Hog. As you know, Scorch is Sonic the Hedgehog, who was unfortunately ripped away from the world. So do you perhaps have any, for lack of a better word, remorse for Scorched?
I think the word you're looking for is pity.
Pity, yes, that's precisely the word. Thank you. You're better with words than I, clearly. Do you?
I don't really have an opinion on them. Not too important to me.
Makes sense. Do you feel bad for him, though, personally? Anyways,
To each their own.
question 44. You seem to show some kind of remorse, again, that's just a word I keep pulling, about Hypno and his love for murdering children and the similarities between you two. So do you wish you were some other way in any type? Now I know this is against your wishes, but do you wish you were any other way besides controlling and violent to people? Is it perhaps a self-aware side that these actions are taboo and harmful? I can already tell by the laugh that this is going to be an obvious answer, but I shall continue regardless. Or is that the point of the actions in the first place? And am I looking too deep into this?
If I wanted to change, Mailman, I would have changed. I have not changed. What does that tell you?
I'm with you. I'm fair. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. He is quite the good fellow, though. I haven't conversed with Hypno, but I have seen him quite a bit. I like him. He's kind of cool.
Very cool, I'd say.
Okay, this one was another one that was asked by a fan. I think it was Uni on Discord that asked this, but I just typed it down beforehand. So sorry, Uni. But do you dislike people when they think you're cute or draw you as cute or don't take you seriously? Do you dislike that at all?
Depends entirely on who the artist is. There is a few I know that I know respect me and know me well, but there is a certain level of disrespect when people do not take me seriously and point at me and laugh. It is quite common for me to see that on the internet, which is why I do not frequent it very often, because I know I'm only going to be faced with mockery and memes.
To be fair, I would never expect to see the Lord X on Twitter, as it were. So I do respect you for that. You're a better human than I, that's for sure. So I only go on there just for relative stuff to laugh at, but that's neither here nor there. Question 46. Majin said once that he brought you, or brings you rather, to laughter quite a bit, if not rarely. So do you have a particular joke that or skit that he has done that brought you to any type of laughter or chuckle?
I'm fond of witty humor, and he knows this.
Anything you could tell us?
There was a time when I went over to his forest for a chat, and he invited me into his cabin, and he asked me if I wanted anything, and I said no, and he said, "I know that's a lie, you want something." And he proceeded to pull out a chocolate cake with all the bells and whistles, per se. He said, "Do you want this?" I had to say yes, because if I said no, I would be lying.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay. I was expecting another type of humor of you to like. Nothing specific. I just didn't know that you
was
were a fan
it
of
dark
humor.
Were you expecting that?
No. I don't. Are you a fan? I don't expect you to be a fan of dark humor, I don't think.
It is not my kind of humor, no.
Some of it is quite distasteful.
Most of it is distasteful.
An acquired taste for some people on Reddit, I guess.
Taste.
No offense if you like dark humor, by the way. If you like dark humor, it's fine. For the record, I don't vibe with it as it was said. Oh no, I'm skipping that one. Absolutely not.
Skipping a question you wrote down? Well, now you have me curious.
No, Lord X, I'm not saying this question.
Then why did you write it down, Mailman?
Because it was 12 o'clock at night. I was tired and I just was feeling goofy. I do not want to ask you this question.
You've mentioned it. Now you have to say it. Come on.
Fine. Audience, close your ears. Lord X, don't hurt me.
I did ask for this.
Could you give us a dig a bye-bye?
Absolutely not. Next question.
Okay, the point of the question, skipping the question, was to not say it, Lord X, I swear. We could have skipped this.
We could have, but I know someone would have asked it regardless, so carry on.
Question 49. Do you admire those who have confidence against you, or do you think that hubris might be too far for somebody going against someone with the likes of you?
It makes things interesting. You see, determination and confidence really does something for a fight, you know. Because if they go into the fight knowing that they lose, they hardly try. But if they have a kind of confidence, then, well, the fight lasts longer than a minute.
And of a victim, what if a victim had confidence against, not necessarily to fight, but to think that they can outrun you or trick you in a way?
Oh, that makes it so much more interesting.
Oh, I'm sure.
Survival instincts are really something.
Oh, yeah. I would know. I outran a wolf one time, Lord X, I swear.
Sure.
Don't say sure, just believe me. I'm telling the whole truth here. Whole truth. It was a puppy, but regardless. Question 50. You often, very often, it seems, get fan requests for things like lines or any other type of scenario, whether it be collaborations with Rewrite a lot. Anyways, do you have any lines that you've said from a fan that have stuck out or lasted with you?
Probably the line that was originally Bane's, I believe.
That's not the one I had thought you'd say. What was that one?
Well, I do not have it memorized, but I remember quite liking it. Really resonating with it.
Oh, the darkness is your ally, that one?
Only half of that's correct.
Okay. I was made in it, formed in it, or something similar. I was thinking you'd say the very long, very, very long.
Oh, yes, that's the
MCG Game Jolter. I even wrote down the name.
the long-winded the long-winded speech. Yes. And one person submitted an even longer script, basically, for me to recite, and I don't think I'll be doing that one.
I thought you were gonna say that one for sure.
It was fun, it was challenging, but
a little wordy for your taste?
It could have been written better.
Okay. I honestly thought you'd say that one. I literally had the username written down and everything. I was expecting you to be like, oh yes, the long-winded rant. Oh, you mean the one by MC Game Jolter?
Oh, you think yes. You know me, Mailman, but you do not.
I thought I did. In a good way though. I appreciate the level of me not knowing what comes next with you. I like that a lot. It's admirable. Question 51. Do beings with absorption power intimidate you at all? After all, theoretically, their power is technically limitless. Like, for instance, you mentioned him earlier, Ultra M, with the ability to absorb the likes of MX, GB, or Mr. Sis, or even cunning enough to make a deal with those two. Do you think that those beings pose a threat to you at all?
Technically, I could qualify as one of those beings that use absorption.
With souls?
Yes, with souls.
But I wouldn't think that souls would be to the extent of absorbing MX. or would you say that
Oh, I
the
could.
combination of souls is
Oh,
what
I
brings
could.
power?
I could.
Oh gosh.
Anyone that has a soul, I can take it.
So for a being with higher power, how would you take their? Would you have to defeat them first, or kill their body or vessel in some way?
All I have to do is touch them, if they're made of biomatter, that is. I can make their muscles
not
seize
code.
up, unable to move, and then I can go in for the kill.
So not code. It has to be biomatter.
Yes. Though code I can manipulate just as easily.
Right. Code. Wait, so can you manipulate code from, like, let's say, if you went to Faker's origin game, wherever they came from, could you manipulate that game, or is it just the game that you originally resided in?
I could technically manipulate any game, but I do not see any need to do that.
Okay.
Now,
So what's stopping you from doing that with like Xeno or Faker?
Xenophanes is a completely different story. If I try to make any action against him, he will flatten me like a pancake.
Cheating, little X man.
Exactly.
That is such a power move. I hate that.
Now, this interview is very, very good, but I must go.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I have dinner.
Okay. Okay.
We can continue this
come back to this?
afterwards.
Okay. I had a break planned for question 51 anyway, so
Ah, good.
that's fair. Okay. I shall see you again.
I will see you momentarily.
Yes. Goodbye, Lord X.